Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In my recent videos I've perhaps been featuring cameras that have a little more automation than is ideal. Great if you're learning to shoot and if you're just looking to take snaps whereby you haven't got to worry about settings, you can just push the button, then brilliant, and I've nothing wrong, I've no objection to those sort of cameras at all. But I thought it might be nice this week to perhaps go back to basics a little bit and feature a camera with almost no automation at all, aside from a light meter, and that is the Yashica FX-3, and perhaps I can interest you in the idea of reskinning a camera as well. So here we are, Yashica FX-3. This was released in 1979. It's a 35mm SLR, as I'm sure you can tell. It basically was replaced later on in the 80s by the FX-3 Super, FX-3 Super 2000, etc., with sort of minimal additions. But the initial model, the FX-3, I think is a really nice camera, although it's quite simple. It was certainly very popular at the time. One of the main reasons is it's quite compact, and for an SLR, really quite light. It's about 450 grams, which is about a pound. And so, yeah, nice and sort of compact and simple. And as I say, although it has a light meter, it's a very simple 3 LED showing you that it's your exposure is either too bright, too dim, or just right. And because of that, it's one of the cameras that I really enjoy using on a regular basis. My particular model is not original in colour. This red was originally black, but I got the camera very cheap because the leather was actually coming away, peeling away from the camera, and was torn in a couple of places. So I've actually replaced this, I've reskinned it if you like, with some red leather, which I actually think makes it look rather smart, but more on that later on. Really simple. We've got our take back spool, we've got our shutter speed here, which ranges from 1 second to 1,000th of a second, and it also combines our film speed setting, and we achieve that by lifting the knob before we turn it, and we can alter the speed. We have obviously a hot shoe for a flash. And we have our shutter release button, which just fired there. I didn't realise it was wound on. Our shutter count indicator here, and obviously our film advance lever, or the wind on lever, whichever way you look at it. Wind on and release. On the back here we have our exposure check, so the light meter that I was talking about. So many of the cameras I've shown you so far that do have a light meter fitted, they require a sort of half press of the shutter to activate, whereas this one is just on the back of the camera, so it actually makes it still quite convenient to use. On the bottom we have the release to allow us to wind the film back into the spool. We have a tripod mount receptacle there, and we obviously have our battery cover for our cell batteries. I'm going to blur the label out on the final video, but this actually features the original owner of the camera, not the one I bought it from, but the very original, and just for privacy purposes I'll blur it, but I don't actually want to remove it. I quite like that little bit of history associated with the device itself. Around the front we have our self timer, which I've shown you how to operate many times before. And we have the lens that came with this camera, which was a prime lens, and it's relatively fast actually, it's f2, but I do have a few more Yashica lenses. Those of you that have been watching my series for a while will remember my Yashica TL Electro X, and I got a couple of lenses with that, but the f2 lens, very nice lens indeed, nice and bright, nice and fast. As I say, it's completely manual. We have our aperture ring, we have focus. Simple as that, and we have our shutter speed on top. So that's kind of it for the camera, but I did want to talk about the reskinning because I am quite pleased with it. I didn't do a perfect job, but basically on eBay there are several vendors that sell pre-cut leather, adhesive leather, self-adhesive leather that will, as long as you choose the right model type for your camera, will allow you to replace and obviously change colours. I went with red, which I think suits the black quite well. It would have been originally in black. But there are blues and greens and all sorts, wood effect and snake skin, whatever takes your fancy. And if you're of a vegan persuasion, then there are non-leather leather effect options as well. So let's I'll show you. I took some videos whilst I was reskinning, and I just thought you might like to see that process. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the Yashica FX-3. I've just managed to get hold of a roll of Cinestil, which is a film I've never tried, so I'm keen to actually give that a go in this one. All that remains for me to say is to wish you a Merry Christmas and to thank you all for commenting, liking, and especially subscribing. Really am pleased. Hopefully I can hit 100 subscribers sometime early in 2021. But other than that, have a great time in these weird restricted times that we have, and I'll see you soon.